Yep. We are back again. Um, I've been away from this for a while now, but yeah, let me start it off. This is MrNiiMer, and I bring to you MrNiiMer Geeks. This is the show, not necessarily a show, but a show where I go around the internet and then find interesting things that I can geek about. Not only finding interesting things, but things that actually link to real life problems that I have. That these things that I geek about will try and then solve. So I've been away from this for a while now. I actually felt sick. I never knew this, but being in your 30s and then having the flu was really, really different from being in your 20s and having the flu, or being in your teens and having the flu. It is very, very different. I don't recommend it for anybody out there at all. But yeah, I got the flu, so I had to step away from this for a while. I literally couldn't do anything. I don't know if I'm just becoming old, but yeah, I couldn't do anything. But today I brought you another one, and this is actually from Fix Carraro again. So I made a video where Fix Carraro did such a similar thing, but for Windows PC. So you can see from the screen it says if you have a MacBook, you should definitely have these, and all of them are free. So the last time I did this was for Windows, and then I had free programs like Local Send, which is literally the airdrop for Windows. It had antiviruses. I think it had registry cleaners. It had a bunch of stuff. So this is for the MacBook or iOS or uh, macOS. I haven't really delved into using a Mac. I think most of the times I've used the Mac, it was just for show. I literally just had it and I was using it. I wasn't even using it for many things. But I'll go through this, and then if we have anything that we stumble on, we'll just go to Google and then do a search. So I'll actually bring two things that I found on the internet that again I'll geek on. But yeah, if you're on Instagram, check me out, MrNiiMerGeeks. So MrNiiMerGeeks. I post a bunch of short videos and all that kind of stuff on there, and then I also repost things that I see that are also interesting on there. But if you are also there, you should check out Fix Carraro. So Fix Carraro, Fixkarao, and then you can find these tips too from them. So the first thing, if you have a MacBook, which you should have, is Klack. So the first thing there is Klack. So it says here that Klack makes your Mac keyboard sound like a mechanical keyboard. Okay. So makes your Mac keyboard sound like a mechanical one. It sits in your menu bar and adds a satisfying click with every keystroke. More fun than useful, but once you try it, it's your turn. Once you try it, you won't turn it off. So it makes your Mac keyboard sound like a mechanical one. You can also simply just get a mechanical keyboard. But okay, yeah, definitely it's not going to be for your MacBook Pro. It's either going to be for your Studio or Mac Mini or something. So the first one is Klack. The second one is Keyboard Maestro. So Keyboard Maestro creates macros that automate your entire startup routine. So one shortcut opens Chrome, Notes, ChatGPT, and plays your playlist. Saves hours every week. So we'll check out what macros are. So macros, okay. So what are macros? So in Google, macros short for macronutrients. No. What are macros? Computers. So let's switch that. So what are macros in computers? So a macro in a computer is a saved sequence of commands, keystrokes, or mouse clicks that lets you automate repetitive or multi-step tasks with a single shortcut or button press. Well, that's really, really cool. So it's literally just telling you that okay, so just like what it said, one shortcut opens Chrome, Notes, ChatGPT, and plays your favorite playlist. Okay, so Keyboard Maestro. Let's check it out. Keyboard Maestro. So Keyboard Maestro work faster with macros for macOS. Oh, okay. So that's cool. So Keyboard Maestro. The next one is Espanso. Espanso. So Espanso is a free text expander. Type a short trigger like semicolon sig, and it fills in your full email signature automatically. Works for addresses, templates, anything you type repeatedly. Okay, so then I think this is kind of the thing with where iOS and macOS doesn't have a clipboard. I don't know if that's true, but I think I'll do a video on that too as well. As in iOS and macOS not having a clipboard. I think maybe macOS has a clipboard, obviously, but um, iOS doesn't have a clipboard. So this kind of, I think this one's also cool. So anytime you want to fully write out something, you just put in or type in a trigger. I think you can do that with dictionaries too as well. So if you are typing, you can just go to dictionaries and then create an entry there. So I think that's cool. So Espanso. So there's Espanso, and then there's what? IINA. IINA. Let me see if I IINA. Oh, okay, so IINA. IINA is a free media player that handles any video format you throw at it. Gesture controls, picture in picture, subtitles, and it feels native and looks clean. IINA. Okay. Let me see if there are like, oh, okay, it looks cool. It looks cool. But I think obviously if you are using VLC, you wouldn't be in any of this. So I think VLC 2 can be competitive in this. But yeah, IINA. And then from IINA, there's one thing. So one thing, add one focus item to your menu bar. So a task, a reminder, or a code, whatever you need to stay on track, completely free, surprisingly effective. So one thing, let me check it out and let's see what is one thing. So one thing is a free productivity app for macOS developed by Sindra Sohus. It displays your single most important task goal or a custom text reminder directly in your Mac's menu bar to help you stay focused and avoid distractions. Okay, let's check out menu and then see. So, okay, well, that's cool too. So this is kind of like for productivity. And then there's image optim. So image optim, drag and drop images. It compresses them instantly with no visible loss of quality. Also strips GPS and camera metadata before you upload anything online. Oh, okay. So image optim. Well, but I think with image optim, the best use scenario will be this stripping the GPS and camera metadata before you do any uploads. I think for privacy and security purposes, you can use this. I don't think compressing images. I don't know if people out there still compress images. I used to do that a lot, but I don't do that anymore. But I think using image optim for stripping the GPS and the camera metadata will be cool. So I think there's that. So image optim, and then there's app cleaner. So drag any app into it, and it removes all associated files. Dragging to the trash leaves residue. This actually cleans it up. Oh, okay. So this is kind of like installing an uninstaller for Windows, I guess. But well, yeah. Again, like I haven't really been using Mac that much, so I can't really give uh, use case scenarios on these. But I think App Cleaner will be cool. The logic behind the app is simple, because just like the way you uninstall things from Windows and then it leaves residue or like files in many places, I think this will also be cool. So App Cleaner. So if you're out there, check it out. App Cleaner. And then there's Copy Clip. So light test clipboard manager on Mac. Remembers everything you've copied: text, link, images. The number of times this saves you when you have already copied over something important is endless. Okay, so now we should actually search for this. So, is there a clipboard in macOS? And then let's see. Yes, macOS has a clipboard, but by default, it only saves the single most recent item you copy. When you copy something new, it replaces the old one. Oh, okay, okay, okay. So I think this would be cool. So if you're out there, copy clip, you should use that on macOS. I don't know if they have an iOS app there. Maybe you can use it over there too as well. But yeah, copy clip. And then so that's the end. So the last one was copy clip. I think out of all of them, so copy clip, app cleaner, image optim, one thing, IINA, Espanso, keyboard Maestro, and then Klack. I think the last two were, or the last three. So image optim, if you want to strip the metadata and then the camera metadata from your pictures, then you can use that on Mac. App cleaner, obviously, and then copy clip for managing your clipboard as well. Now, there's one last thing that um, I saw that I wanted to bring up to people. So, if you're out there, and you started YouTube. So, yeah, shout out to Fix Carraro. So, Fix Carraro, again, if you're out there, you should try and follow them on Instagram. So, follow them on Instagram, and they give out tips just like these. Now, I saw this with the KSS News. So, if you're out here in Ghana, you know KSS News. There's this guy called Kujo Sheldon. He has a media company now, but he used to do YouTube. He still does YouTube, but he has like not necessarily branched, but he does other thing aside doing YouTube as well. So he has an Instagram account called the KSS News that literally talks about day-to-day news, things that come up in news and all that. So I saw this and I was like, oh, let me bring this out there too. So he said, create your YouTube channel now. YouTube is about to make monetization much harder, right? So under there, the story says starting February 1st, 2027, YPP entries. So YouTube partnership program entry thresholds for new applicants are changing to 8,000 qualified watch hours in the last 365 days, or 20 million qualified short views in the last 90 days. There are no changes to the eligibility requirements to gain access to fund funding features. So example, super chats and then channel membership, YouTube creator partnerships, or YouTube shopping. These products will continue to help creators to start their earning journeys even earlier when they reach 500 subscribers and either 3,000 qualified watch hours in the last 165 days or 3 million qualified short views in the last 90 days. So that means that with YouTube, I think at first to qualify for monetization, it was 4,000 watch hours in the last year and then 10 million qualified short views in the last 90 days plus your 1,000 subscribers. But you can still start making money by using super chats and then channel membership and then creator partnerships and then YouTube shopping. So you use YouTube shopping on your YouTube channel to sell like merch and then things like that. You can still make money if you reach 500 subscribers and then either attain 3,000 qualified watch hours on your videos in the last year or 3 million qualified short views in the last 90 days. So I think that's cool. So if you're out there and you want to start YouTube, start it now. Just like it said, yeah, start it now. So this is it. This is how you should it is back in the day. So you need to get 1,000 subscribers and either 8,000 qualified public watch hours or 20 million. So you still get 1,000 like back in the day. You still get it. You still need to get 1,000, or you can get 500 to use those other features. So YouTube shopping, partnership programs, creator partnerships, and then channels membership, and then super chat. But then now you need to get 8,000 video or watch hours or 20 million short views for you to qualify. So I hope I came back with a bang, but yeah, this is the end of that. So again, check out Face Carraro for most of the tips. And when I find something interesting enough to geek about, I'll bring you another video tomorrow. Thanks for watching. If you found this video, I hope you like it. I hope you subscribe. If you have any feedback, just share it in the comment section. And if you feel this will help somebody out there, I hope you share it too as well. See you in the next one. Bye bye.